On November 4th, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed declared military action against the state of Tigray as a response to an alleged military base attack conducted by the ruling party, TPLF.
Abiy announced a 6-month state of emergency in Tigray, where everyone was instructed to remain within their homes. About a week prior, the federal government cut the supply of all fuel types to Tigray.
2 days prior to Abiy's declaration of war, the federal government seized all control of Tigray's data and telephony infrastructures, effectively disabling Ethio telecoms in Tigray.
This has prohibited access to internet, telephone and basic utility services. In addition to this, people are unable to access banks and humanitarian aid due to intense border control.
On the 12th of November, fighter jets have bombed the Tekeza hydroelectric dam, the main source of power for millions of Tigrayans.
Within 2 weeks, there have been several airstrikes in Mekelle targeting civilian spaces, with injuries reported in churches and university.
Why is this happening? Military action against Tigray began shortly after Abiy Ahmed unconstitutionally extended his term in office. This term expired on the 5th of October 2020. There is no scheduled date for an election moving forward.
Despite the federal government's attempt to block the elections, Tigray continued with their state elections in a COVID-safe manner. Abiy Ahmed deemed this to be illegal, and in response to this, the federal government has cut funding to the Tigray region.
The result of this is that an already fragile region that is currently adjusting to the effects of COVID-19, in addition to the worst locust outbreak in decades, is now doing so without the financial support from the federal government.
What does this mean moving forward? Abiy Ahmed has rejected peace talks and refuses to recognise the democratically elected regional government in Tigray.
He has told the civilians of Tigray to remain indoors, as the government will continue with airstrikes over the entire region indefinitely, until all TPLF leaders are under its control.
Abiy Ahmed has implemented Eritrean forces to wage war against Tigrayan citizens. Reports the Eritrean president is conscripting soldiers and mobilizing Eritrean troops at the border.
This means that an invasion from Tigray's northern neighbors will have severe impacts on the people of Eritrea and the already fragile Horn of Africa.
The UN has already reported there is currently over 33,000 people from Tigray currently seeking refuge in Sudan, and they have projected this number to be as high as 200,000 in the coming months.
This is quickly already taking a raging dimension and becoming a serious geopolitical crisis in the East African region and beyond.
Abiy's final military operation has already sought out assistance of foreign forces from Eritrea as well as drones from the UAE, whilst simultaneously rejecting external mediation as he sees the current conflict an internal affair.
A war will only continue to increase instability on a country that's faced unrest, mass killings and excessive force on protesters.
Abiy Ahmed, the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize winner, has used his power to instill fear, to enforce war, and to divide the second most populous country in Africa.
His act of civil war comes at a cost, one that innocent civilians will be forced to pay. What can you do? Due to media suppression in the whole of Ethiopia,
We encourage you to utilize your voice and urge the Ethiopian government for an immediate cessation of hostilities, allow for humanitarian assistance to be delivered to those in need, and conduct an all-inclusive negotiation between political parties.
We encourage you to request that the Ethiopian government recognises the democratically elected government of the state of Tigray and abide by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia as the first steps towards resolving this conflict.
We encourage you to utilise your platform and say no to the war on Tigray.
Hold Abiy Ahmed accountable for his actions.
Say no to war in Ethiopia.
I stand with Tigray.
I stand with Tigray. Say no to war